I would be on like my internet sucks, or else I'd.
How is it possible that the chief evangelist officer is staying at a residence inn?
Example, there is no officer in my name.
Chief, though.
Hello, my friends.
Very cool.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, Oakley Information Security Show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 33 of 2024. I'm Chris Louie, and as of the time of this recording, I am still COVID-free after attending Blackhat and DEFCON.
Yes! I am invincible!
And the two guests that we had on from last week actually tested positive, so all three of us had close contact for sure.
Yeah,
Nobody cares.
Yeah,
Nobody cares.
But
It's
to be
not
honest,
2020.
I think he was lying or testing with a bad test kit anyway, so it doesn't matter.
The CDC says those expired test kits are still valid, Glenn.
They also said that COVID was supposed to be something we were fearful of. So,
It's true, yeah. Now they say treat it like the flu.
well, actually,
well-
giant asterisks to that. If you're in good health, no comorbidities, you're good. Which you are, Chris. I mean, you are.
I am.
The
He's
best.
in good health, or he's got morbidity in him.
He has
Which one is
Jeez, I can't talk tonight. The second thing, I'll leave it at that.
There you go.
Not immunocompromised. I think I'm
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Should be fine. If not, you guys are invited to my funeral. Everybody gets a taser. The last person standing gets my stuff.
Don't worry.
What about those corgi legs, man? Those corgi legs.
You talking about me again? Is that it?
No, I was making fun of Chris. I was saying before you showed up
That's
at
what I
Blackhat.
said. I know. You gotta listen to the last week's episode, Glenn.
I will listen to last week's episode here.
Now
as soon
you
as
get
we
all the
done
corgi
recording this.
jokes.
Yes.
As you can tell, we are all back at home. The audio is amazing this week. I worked really hard to make the audio usable last week, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. With me, I have my co-host, Duke Silver, who's still riding the high from that Morgan Wallen concert. How was that, Brian?
Wow. I don't know that I want to answer this question out loud, but it was.
Did you
it
really
was
go?
good. Yeah, I really went.
Did you go? Oh, wow.
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to say is like they had like an opening act. They had 3 opening acts, and so in between acts, like we had like about 20 minutes to talk, and so I did my rounds in there. But there's a couple guys that just want to talk through the music, and I'm just like, bro, like I love talking tech, but I can't hear anything. So we're just standing like face to face, shouting at each other the whole time a concert's going on. I was like, oh, this sucks so bad. I was like,
And
just go
that's
sit
how
with your
Brian
wife,
got
dude.
COVID for the 5th time.
No COVID over here. But even if I did, I wouldn't know because I'm not going to test.
Yeah, I'll talk about it when we do our Blackhat recap, but I had
Okay.
some interesting encounters at the booth that may have perpetuated the spread of the COVID, but
Okay.
so far I haven't gotten
shake
it. But
people
maybe
mean the
that's how
common
our 2
cold.
colleagues got it.
Yeah.
It's a cold. Calm down.
I will say Morgan Wallen draws in a certain demographic that's very similar to a Maroon 5 concert, and I'll leave it at that.
Did
I would say.
did Brian break out? Did you break out your Daisy Dukes and your cowboy boots?
Had my shakers on and everything. No,
And the chaps. Brian
Yeah.
he only wore chaps.
Yeah.
massless chaps. No, I did not see that. No, the demographic was actually pretty wild. I mean, it's what you would think, but there was a lot of people there. One thing I did notice is on the plane ride back to Arizona is someone was like on the phone. They're like, yeah, then blah, blah, blah. And then Jelly Roll was actually pretty good. And then everyone on the plane was apparently at the concert and everyone was in agreement that Jelly Roll actually performed better than
Jelly
Morgan
was
Wallen.
good.
Yeah, but
Oh, wow.
it wasn't so much that he was better. I mean, maybe he was, or I don't know. But he connected with the audience a little bit better. So he stopped and had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 different like little things where he just kind of shared his life. I think made it a little bit more relatable to people.
That's cool. Yeah, even on my return flight home, I saw a lot of people wearing Morgan Wallen merch, so I know that they were there for the concert. And they were striking up conversations with other people that were at the concert. So it's kind of like the Taylor Swift effect, really stimulated the economy, brought people in.
65,000 people there. It was insane.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And we have Glenn Medina, or should we call him Pool Party Glenn or PPG again? How was the pool
PPG.
party this time, Glenn?
It was great. Awesome.
Was it
Can
cold
I say,
outside at all?
no, dude, when it's like 90 something, you want to be in the pool.
Is there a good view at the pool this year?
It's actually the hundreds. We're talking about Vegas, so yeah, it was a good party. So it was a good view.
Oh,
So
jeez.
I can't complain.
We'll
So,
call him Clueless Pool Party Glenn.
no kidding. I thought we were talking about the picture that I sent to you guys about me barbecuing this past weekend, not during the week discussion.
During
Bro,
the week.
you're-
That's the only pool we care about, Glenn.
Yes, I gotcha.
I don't know. That chicken you made looked freaking good, man.
Yeah, it was good. It was awesome. It was really good. But yeah, if you've never been, you've got to go to a pool party in Vegas. So it's good, fun times.
And go with Glenn. Definitely
What was
go
the
with Glenn.
name of the pool and what was the demographic there?
It was the kiddie pool at the MGM. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
Where the urine content is always above 80%.
yeah. The pool party shall not be named the location, simply because we're gonna try and keep it a secret and keep it moving every year. So yeah, listen out next year when I give you hints about where to find me for Blackhat.
Like and subscribe to this podcast to find out.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I guess this week, just us hosts for a change. I think for the last several weeks, we've had guests on. It's been a while since it's just been us three, so it should be a good show. Combined, we have decades of information security experience here, not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got our usual 4 awesome stories for this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This week, we're going to actually recap Blackhat and DEFCON. North Korea WMD funding gets disrupted. For our third topic, BEC may have finally met its match, and close with rich people talk. For our first topic, since last week's episode was recorded before Blackhat had even officially started, this week we'll talk about what we observed at both conferences this year. Obviously, you two did not attend DEFCON, so I'll be handling the DEFCON portion. So let's start with Blackhat talk.
Oh, goody.
So we talked. Yeah, there was a lot of people walking around. Definitely. I don't know.
Vegas is back, baby.
Vegas is back. So it was definitely busy. Definitely interesting. Definitely fun. But I didn't see anything that was like eye catchy as far as new tech was concerned. Did you guys? The only booth that really had me going, what is that? Was and maybe that was the job that they were supposed to do was human. You guys remember that booth?
The human booth was not memorable for me, Glenn.
No. What was it? CrowdStrike apology tour? What was it?
No. Describe the human booth just in case I saw it and I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
So it was basically kind of brown. It looked like there was DNA all over the booth, and they were kind of doing epidemiology type stuff, where they was like it would be like definitions of insects and then the names that they were supposed to be, or pictures of things, and it was kind of interesting. But like I said, I still didn't understand what it was they did. So
Cool booth, missed its mark.
yeah.
I did not get to walk around and see anything, so with the exception of abnormal, because someone told me
How's
that.
the abnormal booth?
So I guess it's pretty interesting. I don't know that you would buy it for just a singular thing. Well, I guess you would buy it for a singular thing. I don't know that it's like it's like a transformation type of thing. But
They're email security, aren't they?
Yeah, email security, and it's kind of neat because like it scans the content of your email and then looks at it in context of like, have I ever gotten an email from Glenn before? If I have, does he normally ask for payment
Credit card.
information? Yeah, credit card, things like that. Does he normally send in attachments? Do I normally click on it was this whole gamut of things, which I thought was actually pretty cool.
It's like natural language processing, things like that.
Yeah.
It's
Just adding-
a perfect AI story there. Feed it into an LLM and you apply some machine learning to it.
Well, it makes sense, right? Like if you've never received an email from me, that's got to be suspicious. Then, or if you have, what are the possibilities that I would be asking someone for money? I think that should be some really good indicators right there.
But also, I guess it's like what's their secret sauce? Like Gmail, phenomenal spam blocker. Like what's abnormal secret sauce? Like is it that natural language processing and overtime behavioral learning?
But it's the same thing with like, so let's say that me and Glenn communicate all the time, and then one day his account is hijacked, right? Stolen credentials, whatever, and then he starts asking me for credit card information. That's when we would know, or like or he sends over a PO, something like that, or it would be maybe I'm always dealing with Glenn, and he's always asking or sending over POs, but I recognize in the PO that the routing number's changed, right? So it's actually pretty sweet, yeah.
That's good. So I mean, it's like baseline. It baselines the data, and then it can see if there's any anomalies or outliers from that data, and alert you to that potentially.
Yeah, I mean, we think so. I have no idea, but
step back 60 seconds though, or 130 seconds, 20 seconds. Did you say that Gmail has phenomenal phishing protection?
Not phishing. I didn't say phishing. I said spam.
Spam.
Phenomenal spam detection. Like, I mean, what gets through is probably, even if one gets through, they probably block 10,000 or 100,000 that never made it to your inbox. Like, Gmail is known as one of the premier spam blockers.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I'll have to go look through my things, yeah.
Did you just say you disagree with me on that?
No, I don't disagree with you on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I consistently...
Like, those are fighting words, Brian.
Interesting, because I consistently get a set of emails, like the Norton emails. That comes through Gmail all the time. I'm like, why is it still coming through? I don't understand that.
But here's the thing. You probably signed up for them at one point. If you hit unsubscribe, they're supposed to unsubscribe you, and if you don't, go into Gmail. If you hit report spam, you'll never hear from them again.
Really?
No, I know. Glenn's talking about
spam.
something else. It's not Norton. It's like
oh, is it
crazy thing? No, like it comes through and it's like, hey, bro, thanks to your business,
the
blah blah.
scam.
And no, it's a confirmation email to Norton, right? And it's like a screenshot of Lord knows when, right? And it's supposed to be enough just to get you to like respond back to the guy. I've seen that recently.
Refund scam.
Maybe, I just delete it, but yeah, I've seen those in there. I think in 2 different Gmail inboxes as of recently.
Yeah, like I said, you'll occasionally get some that slip through. Like one of the tricks the spammers used is send an invoice directly through QuickBooks because the email comes from Intuit, even though it's a fake PO. So yeah, things like that eventually we'll get through. But the vast majority of the spray and pray type spam out there, they do a really good job of catching it. And that's Gmail or Google. And they did things like recently you must have SPF and DKIM enabled and DMARC enabled, or it automatically goes to spam.
So, Glenn, this whole human security just looks like a WAF on steroids.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. That's where they're all. I guess a WAF is not that. I know F5 does a ton of this stuff. The fake account defense, credential stuffing, all the stuff.
Imperva probably does that to some extent too.
Yeah, I got a maybe
scraping defense, client side defense. Yeah, all right.
No, but these guys are client side
sponsor.
Yeah,
we're becoming a sponsor for Human and Abnormal.
It was an interesting booth. I'll just put it that way. I like what they had. I like the design, the how they had it going on. But
it's good. We should call out vendors that catch our attention and give them positive feedback. For me, lots of AI. Really, no surprise there. Same, very very similar theme as last year with the AI. AI defense, AI prompt injection protection, applying AI to security tools. That again, I think what probably struck me as surprising is the forgiveness for CrowdStrike. I think Brian touched upon this during our podcast last week that said there's some customers out there that says, yeah, we get it, it sucked, but you guys are still the best, and we're not leaving you. CrowdStrike had a bunch of apology billboards around. They paid to have a pretty large billboard in the main hall that says, resiliency is our dedication, and we'll get through this together. I thought that was interesting. A lot of jokes at DEFCON about CrowdStrike, but nothing like I didn't see anybody like angry at their booth.
We'll get through this together sounds like a tagline to, like, post 9/11. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal, guys. Dude, you know what I did here? And I'm pretty sure, isn't it Delta that's suing right now?
Yeah, 500 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently
they share all the
CrowdStrike,
lawsuits, but Delta's the big one.
Yeah, apparently, I think CrowdStrike volunteered to send over like 32 people to help them.
Yeah, send them on site to fix it.
Yeah, and I don't know if they used them or they turned them away, but I was like, that's actually pretty cool. I mean, that's your biggest accounts reactive. I mean, if anything, I think maybe Tyson said it last week, which is, if anything, it just points the giant gap in their whole, like, you guys are way oversubscribed. You need to be, you're running a little too lean over there in IT.
Yeah. Have diversity of operating systems.
Well, the fact that it had to go to the internet for the social justices to occur, interesting, right? The fact that, there's this litigation, and all of a sudden in this evidence, there's evidence to show that actually CrowdStrike was helping.
Yeah, that kind of puts a hole in their story, and CrowdStrike actually fired back. So for some context here, there's a leaked letter. Delta wrote CrowdStrike a really nasty demand letter that says, we're suing you, we're suing Microsoft. You should have tested it, and you took us down for a week. And then CrowdStrike says, whoa, yeah, we admit we screwed up, but number one, you turned down our free services. We're going to fly people out there to get you back online. Number two, look at your competitors. Ha. American and United were down for a day. You were down for a week. Like, this seems like a Delta problem, not a CrowdStrike problem. So there's got to be the inevitable back and forth on this.
A little bit of an incompetence. All right. So
they should, while they're at, they should sue people for being lucky and in falling in love for things that don't actually count. So I'll take things that don't exist.
There's one booth that was right next to the Zscaler booth, and I guess this is kind of a testament to their marketing, because I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the company, but I remember their tagline, which is "SOAR is dead," so security orchestration, automation, remediation. Apparently that's dead. The company
Torque.
that was Torque.
I saw that one
Thank
as
you,
well.
Brian.
Yeah.
So you remembered it. You were at the booth for maybe 10 minutes, and you remembered it, and I was at the booth for 2 straight days, and I couldn't remember it off the top of my head.
It was one of the few that I actually got to walk by that day. So
yeah, cool marketing. The whole SOAR is dead. They had this whole skeleton, dead person theme to it. It was interesting. There's an automation company that Victor pointed me to. Again, I can't remember it, which is not good, but that seemed pretty. It was like drag and drop automation, so you can orchestrate your security and just drag and drop widgets. That
was that Tim's?
CrowdStrike C2. It might have been. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, so you could drag and drop these modules. It says, if CrowdStrike C2 beacon, then contain, then set off an alert to the SOC, then leave the user a voicemail or text the user to shut off their laptop, something like that. So that was pretty cool, user-friendly
enterprise,
automation.
if that, then this.
Pretty much,
Don't get me wrong. But it did look pretty sweet, though. I'll give them that.
Yeah. So that's mainly what stuck out at me. ThreatLocker and Armis, they were super triple diamond platinum sponsors. They had gigantic booths right in front. Still don't know what they do, but they had some pretty cool.
Bro, I was going to say that same thing. I was like, man, they got some big ass booth. I don't even know what they do. But they got money to spend.
I think ThreatLocker is allow listing software on steroids, because it basically said, like, don't allow anything to run unless we approve it. And that sounds a lot like allow listing software.
I thought Armis just had like old money, like maybe they did like storage backups. They're just like pissing it away now. We do security. I have no idea.
I thought Armis was like a competitor to Titanium, right? Where they do device control or device management. No,
it might be. I have no clue what they do.
They had a big booth though.
Yeah, they had a really big booth. It was cool. That was Victor's favorite booth of the show. Or Victor or Kobe, I forget who I was walking with. Like that was their favorite booth, and
did they say
it
why?
just looked cool? No, I mean it looked like a club, like real neutral purple color.
Bro, guys,
who were the people? Who were the people? Was it Sentinel One that had the people that were dressed up like ninjas, digital ninjas walking around with shields? Was that Sentinel One? It was purple and black.
There's a company called Adaptive Shield. They had a guy in like knight armor with the giant shield.
Yeah.
So the
Did you guys
tagline-
encounter Jack Sparrow
No.
at all?
No.
You guys didn't see him? He was walking around and he's like, he played the part well. He's like, did you know about security? And he was trying to play the part. I'm like, you want my badge scan to take a picture with you? I'm cool.
Yeah.
So real quick, Armis, its tagline is protect your extended asset attack surface. When I click on it, their headline is Armis surpasses 200 million in ARR.
Oh, okay, so they're not early stage, but they're not late stage either. So they're still a growth company then, 200 million ARR.
Bro, what are you
Wiz.
talking about? They had the biggest booth ever, and they're making pennies. Like, this is nothing. 200 million ARR, and they're like, they should have
that was
an IKEA desk, not the biggest booth
Maybe they're
on the
looking to
man.
get bought. Maybe
that was
they're looking
Cyber
to get bought.
Reason. So Cyber Reason 2 years ago had the biggest booth in the front, and then no one heard from them again. Like, they blew their entire marketing budget on this one event, put all their eggs in one basket.
I feel like they YOLO'd on the whole Vegas thing. Like, they're just like, let's just do it, see what happens. Wow.
Why not?
Not a good sign. Not a good sign to do.
I don't know.
Armor.
I
So
think
the
that's
200
stupid.
million AR, they're probably not public yet. I'm guessing they're
No.
probably Series D, maybe. I'll have to look this up later. Zoom AI, take a note. See what funding round Armis is on.
Damn.
Yeah,
Alright,
that was the highlights for me. Blackhat was cool. There's a whole AI village now, which I don't believe they had it last year. If they had it last year, it definitely was not as big as this year. So there's a lot more talks and research related to AI security. It was in a different spot this year. It was in the Las Vegas Convention Center. The last 2 years, it was at Caesars Forum. And I gotta say, the space is much, much bigger at the convention center. The hallways were actually walkable. It didn't feel super crowded. I liked the venue. The beef I had with it and what angered a lot of people was that the hotel right next door that you could book through a DEFCON block to get the room rate, Resorts World Hilton, I have no problem calling these idiots out. They put these letters in the room that said, we reserve the right to come in. They didn't actually say we reserve the right. They said we will come in at least once a day to inspect your room, even if you have the privacy sign on, the do not disturb on. We are coming in. We are inspecting your room. Of course, it's been for the safety of our guests here. Apparently, they were afraid of somebody setting up a pineapple or hacking the hotel from the inside. And I saw the news article today, what they were actually looking for. So get this. So they're looking for flipper zeros. They're looking for
Which is not in
pineapples.
plain sight, right?
Yeah, so they're looking for Wi-Fi pineapples. When Victor had his room invaded, he was in the shower and they were like banging on his door until he opened up. So he came out in a towel, opens up the door, and the guy's like, I gotta check your room. So then he comes in. He looked at all the power outlets in the room. So I guess if you have a pineapple, they think it's plugged in. They're gonna just check.
But
that.
he's in the shower.
Yeah.
Right? And they're going to bang on your door. What the hell? Oh,
Yeah, you would think that
sounds like a
if no one-
lawsuit happening. Yeah.
If no one answers, like you move on to the next one. No, they were like pounding on his door until he opened up, even though he was in the shower. And then the other kind of odd thing was they're looking for soldering irons. Like, are you afraid someone's gonna make a bomb or something? Like, one of our colleagues he went to a suite where they had soldering irons. They were like making badges, like the actual DEFCON badges. They were making like fun things. Like, you go to a convention like this, you want to build your own circuits and things. You got to bring a soldering iron. Like, why? Of all things to look for, a soldering iron is one of their watch list items.
That doesn't make any sense.
So that's my rant on that. It's well documented on the internet. They're getting a lot of hate for this. People are saying, I'm never going to stay with this again. I'm never using a DEFCON room blocking. And because the internal memo that the hotel sent out said, we will inspect. Well, first of all, they said they were targeting single males checked into a room by themselves, like kind of profiling. And then they said all the rooms booked through the DEFCON block are the ones that are going to be subject to. And then even, I guess those are the priority rooms that security had to hit. And then all the other rooms that were not booked the DEFCON block, like housekeeping, would just barge in on them or something. So I don't know. The whole thing was dumb. They don't realize that a rooted Android phone could do more damage than any of the stuff that they were looking for. It's ridiculous.
Well, were there any incidences?
Not that I heard of. I as of InfoSec Twitter and the DEFCON subreddit, no one said that they got hassled for anything they had, but it was just the policy and the invasion of privacy that really upset people.
Yeah. Yeah, if I would have walked out butt naked and says, "Hey, what's going on? What are you guys here for?"
You want a tip?
Yeah, I didn't order hookers and blow. What the heck's going on?
Make it super awkward. Super awkward, Glenn. I like
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I will say, I am never staying at Mandalay Bay again. I'm done. I can't do it. Like those.
Why is that?
Room, like it's like convenience factor. Great. The room though.
You didn't have a suite?
70. Yeah, right. 70. Oh, dude, even in the penthouse, it was still 75 degrees. I was up there sweating my taint off.
There was an issue this past week with the AC. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but it was warm.
I was the same.
No matter how cold I said
before.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. So I'm I'm going back to the link, boys. That place was 50 degrees.
Even
so
you're
knowing that Brian was gonna be in my room recording the podcast, I set my thermostat to like 65 or however low it would go, and Brian came in and was like, no, this is acceptable. It definitely wasn't 65, but it was acceptable to Brian's standards.
Did Brian sneak that in there? He says even in the penthouse suite at the Mandalay Bay, it was
he did a little humble brag in there.
I know. What the heck, Brian? What's going on?
From the presidential suite, looking down on you peasants, it was still too hot for me.
Yeah.
I mean, so the room was cool and all, but it wasn't that cool, right? Like it's this big, and I wasn't staying there. But you know what's crazy about that is I could have thrown a party there like so easily because we had no one in there at night, but we had the room blocked out until Friday morning. So
as long as you cleaned up, no one would be the wiser.
That's right. No black lights.
And since Glenn said blacklight, for our second topic, related to the story we did 2 weeks ago about the cybersecurity company KnowBe4 unknowingly hiring a North Korean spy, the U.S. Department of Justice has just dismantled a remote laptop farm in Nashville, Tennessee. Authorities arrested a man named Matthew Newt, who allegedly provided housing for company-provided laptops and also helped launder payments for the remote IT work to North Korean and Chinese accounts. The victim company shipped their laptop address to Newt's residences, and following the receipt of those laptops, Newt logged in on those laptops, downloaded and installed unauthorized remote desktop applications, and accessed the victim's computer's networks. This is again why it's just so important to block those desktop sharing surfaces like GoToMyPC or AnyDesk or TeamViewer or any of those that would allow someone to remotely control that computer from North Korea.
But I don't understand. Authorities arrested a man named Matthew Newt who allegedly provided housing for company-provided laptops that were stolen or that were fake hired, like the North Korean spy. Yeah,
it was sort of like the fake hire. So our story we did 2 weeks ago, KnowBe4 hired this North Korean spy. KnowBe4 shipped the laptop to call if it was this guy. We don't know if it was this guy, but let's say KnowBe4 shipped the laptop to this guy in Nashville because the North Korean spy says, I'm Matthew Newt. I live at this address in Nashville. Send my laptop here. So KnowBe4 sends the laptop there. This guy sets it up in his living room and then sets up AnyDesk so that the guy in North Korea can then remote into that laptop and look like he's working out of Nashville.
You think they would have known before? But
you would think. Dad joke of the week.
But even number one, he shouldn't be in trouble for this. This is dumb. If anything, it's on the companies that didn't stop them from installing the software blocking. If you don't want them to use it, then don't do it.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this story is I read through the entire list of charges against him. This guy collected the paychecks that were supposed to go to the North, because you obviously can't do direct deposit to a North Korean bank. You have to have an address, a U.S. bank account. So this guy would collect the paychecks, take his cut, launder the money, and then send it to North Korea. But he paid his payroll taxes on all that money that he collected. So he filed taxes for him and everything. So nowhere in his charges is tax evasion or tax fraud. He paid his taxes. What they're getting him on is money laundering and wire fraud, which is pretty bad. But they
How
could
about
not get him on text.
treason? How about treason? How does that sound? Yeah.
Providing material support to a terrorist organization, yeah.
Or even another state-sponsored country, right? So, I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
No,
so
I
that's
think
what he's
money
in trouble
laundering is
for.
a stretch, guys. I think he's gonna get out. He just needs to better call Saul. He'll be fine.
I think he needs to go to Guantanamo Bay, and then they do all kinds of stuff to him over there. Some fun stuff.
Bro,
Yeah,
I was working at I think Bank of America at the time, and we were doing some push one night, updates, and I remember I shared my screen with this one website that I found with one of my coworkers because we were like troubleshooting something. He's like my direct report, and you know it worked. We did our thing, whatever. And then like a month goes by, and he's like, we got a security incident that you're using this software. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, look it up. I'm like, yeah, remember we were literally on a call that night, and I was sharing my screen because nothing else was working with you. He's like, I don't recall this. I'm like, okay, corporate red tape everywhere. So I just had to like, yeah, I was like, he totally threw me in the bus. I was like, all right, we don't use this anymore. Whatever.
Was it join.me? That was one I used to use a lot to remote support people.
It might have been.
Join.me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, taking Glenn back.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy, I think they said if he hits the maximum, it's like 20 years in prison or something. So I hope they throw the book at this guy. I mean, he is materially funding a state-sponsored terror. I don't know.
I know.
Is North Korea state-sponsored? I know they're on the sanctions list, so there's some treasury charges in there.
Yeah,
But
treason.
North Korea-
That's what I would call it. Like,
They're funding North Korean WMD research.
yeah.
It was funny. So the headlines, like Bleeping Computer just says, U.S. dismantles laptop farm used by undercover North Korean hackers. The Record, Tennessee man charged over North Korea and worker scheme. And this is what Dark Reading says. Tennessee man helped DPRK workers get jobs at U.S. organizations to fund WMDs. Like they just had to throw that in the headline that this is funding weapons of mass destruction.
Again,
stuff
why
to write about? Yeah.
is a company that's capable of creating weapons of mass destruction have such weak security that this could even be pulled off? I don't get it.
And no, they're implying that since he sent money to North Korea is using it to fund their WMD research because they're under heavy sanction.
You know what? All I'm hearing is they're anti-capitalist. That's all.
Sanctions bad.
These guys are funny.
All right, for our third topic, International Law Enforcement Agency Interpol has successfully reversed $40 million in stolen funds during a business email compromise or BEC scam. So talking about abnormal security, machine learning, and stopping these kinds of scams.
It's about
Wait,
time.
Interpol's a real
We
thing?
had a win. Yeah.
Interpol is a real thing. It stands for something. It says like International Police Agency or something like that.
Oh, I thought that was just like that Tom Cruise movie thing, Mission Impossible. Wow.
That's IMF, the Impossible Mission Force, which
Does not exist.
publicly does not exist.
No,
the
don't they talk
Secretary
with
of Defense.
Interpol though? Like in
They
the
do,
movie?
yeah. A lot of movies, like Red Notice.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Who was it? Hobbs and Shaw, right? Was
Yeah, Interpol. Yeah, the Hitman, the good one with Timothy Oliphant. They have
Yes.
agents from Interpol.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy
Oh,
wants
this
to be
marks
like-
the largest. This marks the largest recovery of funds in a BEC scam ever. On July 15th, a firm had received an email from a supplier requesting that a pending payment be sent to a new bank account based in the Timor-Leste. The email, however, came from a fraudulent account spelled slightly different from the supplier's official email address. So really nothing new there, off by one, domains and everything. That's tale as old as time. Thinking this was a legitimate request, the firm wired $42.3 million to the attacker-controlled bank accounts, only to realize 4 days later that they had fallen for an attack. They did not realize the mistake until the supplier actually called them, asking why the payment had not yet been sent. So if it sounds familiar, it's because it is. This is a very common BEC-type scam. Interpol's Global Rapid Intervention of Payments, or IGRIP system, can be used to request assistance from authorities in Timor-Leste to recover, and they were able to recover $39 million from the BEC attack. And further investigations yielded the arrest of 7 suspects and recovered another $2 million. So the total recovered amount was $41 million, meaning that company only lost $1.3 million. It still sucks, but it's better than losing $42 million.
Yeah. Where did the $1.3 million go? Did it just get siphoned off in fees, bank fees, as they were trying to?
Could be, yeah, the commission, the foreign exchange fee.
That's funny. So the banks probably were charging it to begin with anyway. So yeah,
it probably, maybe some of it went to money mules and they were able to cash out, or it was out of the reach of Interpol at that point. They wired it to banks in Syria or Russia or Iran, and they just can't touch it.
I feel like a payment that large should be not just one person signing off on it.
It might have been. It might have looked legitimate and like, yeah, this invoice looks real. This is a supplier we deal with. Go ahead, send the money.
Man, I crap my pants and I make a credit card payment. Not 40 plus million. No way, man.
Yeah,
actually, that's
the thing. There's
small town thinking. I need to up my game. I need to start making monthly payments of $39 million. Get out of Hawk. I'm gonna start thinking bigger, boys.
Just there's no malware in there. There's no malware detection system that would have caught this. It's email filters that could scan for things like, say, this is off by 1, or someone from this domain has never emailed you before. That's the real security of it.
Yeah, I think about it this way, right? This is a payment system. You're going to a bank. It's based off of a domain. I can't imagine there's some check that you couldn't do to validate that the entry was correct, right? Domain name entry matched across the list of what your current allowed list are as far as domains and account numbers and routing numbers.
You would think. I guess the other piece of it is the human factor, so the social engineering factor, that anytime somebody requests different bank details, always call them and double verify. Call them on a known good number and verify that this is legitimate before just say, yeah, this is like when I bought my house, I got the wiring instructions directly from the escrow company, and if someone from the escrow company says, oh, wait, it's not this account, it's that one, then I would have called them. And I actually did call them. I called them 3 different times during 3 different times of the day to verify that this is the correct wiring information.
Yeah. They probably
have, oh God,
it's Chris again.
I don't know if I told you the OPSEC I did when I had to make that wire payment for my new house. Like, I power washed a Chromebook, I installed Zscaler on it, and those are the only 2 things I had. Chrome and had Zscaler, and that was it.
So I passed by the Abnormal office today in Redwood City. It looked like a nightclub that, like, all the windows are blacked out, but I could have swore it was the Abnormal logo that was on top of it.
Could be. They might be based out of here.
Oh, I guarantee it. He always is. That is
right now.
And that poses a few questions. Like, if these were in Timor-Leste, like, how on earth do you launder $43 million? Like, if it's a little bit, you can send it to money mules, you can cash out, but how do you launder that much money? Like, how's that possible without raising any red flags? I guess send it to the sanctions-free country, or I mean, a country that's not part of the SWIFT system or this iGrip system.
Well, I'm not going to tell you because then I'll get caught.
Yeah. Brian knows. Well, what you do is you buy USD Tether, and then you send it to this account, and then cash it out for Shroot bucks, and then you take these Shroot bucks and
you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
you guys are funny.
And it's sort of like the role of cryptocurrency, that they have this iGrip system that ties into the banking system. So that means Interpol can intercept your money. But what if you're wiring money, you're a political dissident, and you're trying to wire money, and Interpol doesn't like you for some reason? Can they stop it? That's the whole reason we have cryptocurrency, is that there's no person in the middle, no authority that can regulate it or stop it or reverse it. But that's also a risk. If this company had sent $43 million of Bitcoin, like, sorry, bro, that money's gone. Unless it hits a friendly exchange, you'll never see that again.
I feel like you say that all the time, but it always ends up hitting an exchange of some nature.
I think it's frozen.
Track them down. Yeah.
Or the FBI somehow hacks the private key of the wallet holding the money, like in what was that, Colonial Pipeline.
You don't think they already have it though?
Maybe maybe they're just holding their cards to their chest, and they don't want you to know that they can recover these things.
Yeah. I just gotta think that it's all there, like all the stuff that we think is safe and secure. It's already been in.
Did you guys see that bit? I'm gonna have to plug our own company here, but Zscaler, we did some research with ransomware groups and blockchain analysis, and we figured out that a Fortune 50 company paid a $75 million ransom in Bitcoin to this Dark Angel ransomware gang. And we're not saying who it is, but we know they're Fortune 50, and I've heard from back channels that it's a pharmaceutical related company. So I'm like, I think we could probably narrow it down and figure out who it was.
Let me use ChatGPT real quick. I'll tell you.
$75 million. That's a lot of scratch, as Brian likes to say. And they kept their name out of the news, so maybe it was worth it for them. Their systems weren't disrupted. They kept their name out of the news. There was no 8K that they filed that I know of. It's still a mystery who this company is, but they might be on the hook for some SEC violations if that were actually the case.
It wasn't Caesar's. So
yeah. Yeah, they paid, what was it, 15? Was it 3 million or 15 million?
they negotiated it down, right?
Yeah.
It just started at 20 something.
It was 3 or 15. It might have been 15, I think.
Yeah, I'm not saying the name of it.
Brian figured it out.
Yep, good for them.
There's enough breadcrumbs. People can figure it out. We're not telling who it was. I mean, personally, I don't even know. Like,
I don't even want to know anymore.
But I'm sure we could figure it out. Yeah. 75 million though. That's
a lot.
It's a good payday for them.
What shirt is that, Chris? What do you got on there?
No, it's just a shirt that sends a message that no matter how far down you think you are down the rabbit hole, you should always stand up and continue to fight and persevere. It's a very encouraging message, I believe.
Does it have a flag on the right arm?
Is that Obama?
Actually, it does not.
Oh, you didn't buy the one I told you to buy? You loser.
No, I didn't buy the one you told me to buy. I found my own, but there's no patch.
You know what that is? That's a Chinese knockoff.
Yeah. You're sending a weird message because it looks like Obama and Trump are standing next to each other.
They have been seen together.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. For our last topic, it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about what is a surefire way to tell if someone is rich. Now, it's no secret. We know people and work with people that had large IPO paydays or are just very good at investing. What do you guys notice about rich people?
They drive a Honda Accord.
Yes, very modest. That is true. So, some of them are very... I think you hit like this bell curve where if it's upper middle class, I think then that's when they start buying luxury cars. And then I would say upper class, they might buy, Bentley or something like that. But then when you get into the ultra rich, that's when you find out they have like the Honda Accords, the Toyota Camrys, or the Mazdas.
I think all those people with those really nice supercars and everything, I think they're all faking it. They're all living a life, but I don't think they really own those things.
They're all rented, like those rappers.
Yeah.
Jay's the only person I know that's rich, and he's pretty humble.
Yeah, he is. Founder, CEO.
Yeah.
Symbol. I would say we know some other, maybe not like billionaires, but we know some wealthy people.
They all have planes, boats.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing that you hit the bell curve on that, and at some like maybe a private, like a modest private jet, I would say, like not a Cessna G6 or whatever, but modest private jet. And sometimes it just makes sense. Like your time literally is money and it's valuable, and you don't want to spend 3 hours waiting in an airport lounge when you could just fly private there. So I mean, I could see that. Like Warren Buffett, second, maybe third richest man on the planet. He has a private jet, but he's earned it.
So, all right, you obviously don't know Warren Buffett, so put it in the chat of like who you think is rich, because I don't know of anybody.
Within our group of friends.
Yeah, he's talking about people that we know, right?
Oh,
we kind of
like
deviated.
execs from the.
Yeah,
Those two came to mind. I put it in our Signal chat.
Yeah.
And I will say of the people that we are in their circle. I like that, Glenn.
Oh gosh. So here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. All three of those people didn't have enough pre-IPO stock to really be rich.
Yeah.
Maybe no. Yeah. Even the first
I think
guy.
so. When I look at I would say lower and middle class people, and you ask, what's your portrait of a rich person? Like, they would probably tell you, oh, they wear Gucci suits, they wear a Rolex watch, they wear lots of gold, they wear all these, Fendi, like all these nice labels. Like, that's what lower middle class aspire to be, and that's one of their signals of being rich. And then once you get to rich people, sure, there's people like that on TV and people on social media that are like that. But when you get to the what I would consider like ultra wealthy, like ultra high net worth individuals, no labels. So they have no labels, but their clothes fit perfectly. Like I told you at one SK, I took a picture. I was in my suit, and then someone spotted, it's like, oh, your sleeve's too long, or this is like, they notice those things. But when you see like an ultra wealthy person, like everything down to the millimeter is like perfect, and no labels.
Yeah, that's true. I remember seeing Chris. He had a Rolex on, custom fitted suit, and a Model X. Rich.
Yeah.
That's rich, guys.
Rich. Totally.
Rich.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like he owns like an Airbnb or anything. So
I remember when I was a kid, it was basic stuff like a color TV. That's when you were rich. You knew you made it.
Yeah.
Stairs in your house.
Orange juice in the fridge.
You got to define rich a little bit too. Like, are we talking like don't have to work rich? Are we talking about like, I think you kind of labeled a little bit, right? Like upper middle class versus just stupid, right?
It's true. I would say rich being considered, you don't have to work if you don't want to.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're financially secure. Like, I don't know if you could retire just because of the way healthcare works here in the U.S., but like, you don't have to work if you don't want to.
Well, definitely not in California. California's just ridiculous. So
yeah, that's one of those things. Like, if you lose your job, you're not gonna be sweating over it. Like, you don't have to worry about how you're gonna make rent next month. That you've got your very large cushion saved up.
I think you're right though. If you have a plane, you definitely do. If you have your own chef, then you're a rich person. That's for sure. I'm trying to think what else.
I think people that never talk about money, and this is a story related to actual people that I know, and some of them are just always talking about money. Everything has to be money. How much do you make? Did you how much? So something happened in my family recently where somebody passed away, and then when I told a person in my circle about that, like, the first question was like, oh, how much was your inheritance? How much did you get for that? Like, why is that your first thing that you go to see how much money I got out of this person dying, instead of saying, how did they die? Are you okay? Or that was the first thing that they jumped to. Like, people that always worry about or always talk about money, they're not rich, because when they're always thinking about it, that means they're always worried about
still
it.
on the hunt. That's why I'm broke, because I always talk about money. So, are you saying that people are you talking about that people that never talk about money are rich?
Generally wealthy.
Generally
Yes.
wealthy? Okay.
Yeah, it's like when you look at the menu and they're like, that looks good, I'll take that, and not having to do the math in your head about, oh, can I afford this, or should I get the cheaper option? It's like, no, I want the filet mignon. I'm going to get the filet mignon today and not worry about the price.
I actually did that the other day. Me and my wife went out to like a dinner date, and we both ordered food. I was like, I didn't even look at the price when I just ordered. I'm like,
he handed the waiter the menu and says, yes, thank you.
Yes.
He just ordered everything on the menu.
I don't know if you heard me correctly, but I said, give me all the meats.
Yes.
Did I stutter?
Yeah.
Oh, but it was prime rib. Oh my God, it was so good. I got an end cut. It was, I haven't had that in a while.
Why do you like the end cut? I'm not a big fan of the end cut. Then I might as well just have
all
the
the
steak.
seasoning on it.
All right, so all right, I am a little all right. So I did go big back on this. So I got an end cut and I got two pieces, so the end cut and regular, and then I just cut them and then ate them together for Chris's point exactly, which is the seasoning.
Yeah. See, I'm a middle cut middle cut rare. I just
Yeah.
can't get over it. And then I love eating the crust on the outside because it goes
Yeah.
so well with the blood on the inside. So
Yeah.
Oh,
and then that
my
fat
stomach
cap,
hurt.
Steak talk.
and then the fat cap with that little rubber, little fat. Oh man, that jelly's so good.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna have to go
girl.
someplace. I'm gonna have to go someplace this week. I'm gonna have to go find some prime rib.
Mhm.
Go to House of Prime
Let's
Rib,
go.
Glenn.
Preach.
Yeah, let's go.
Preach, Glenford.
Yes.
And the last thing I will say is people that are not overly braggadocious, so the people that really brag about what they have, their possessions, their wealth, and they have to always flash it. I think those people are very insecure and want people to think that they're rich, but I think the actual ultra wealthy people, they don't talk about it because they don't want people coming around either robbing them or asking them for handouts or just knowing that they're rich.
So what if you're overly braggadocious about how many bills you have? Is that a good sign that you're
Let me tell you how
rich
much
or
debt I
not
got,
rich?
guys.
Let me show you this.
Yeah. So rich people don't worry about money. So it's
Have
just
you ever seen a
bill.
6-figure student loan?
I have. Jeez, I have.
Rip.
Grad
Sorry,
school.
Glenn.
Yeah. Yes, I have. It's ugly.
All right. Well, we continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week.
Dad joke of the week.
This week, Glenn is up. And in true DEFCON nature, don't F this up like Victor did last week.
Oh, Victor was that was really bad. It
He
was
ran
bad
somewhere.
because we actually had it before. So
We've
it's
had
like-
that joke on like
Yeah.
I don't know if it was literally 5 times, but it's been on more than once for sure.
Yeah. How about this one? How did the Vikings communicate with each other?
How's that?
Morse
By Norse code.
Ah, damn it.
Norse code or Morse
Norse-
code? Norse code.
W. Good one.
All right, that's a good one. Yeah, way better than Victor's last.
There
last
you
week.
go. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Victor was under the weather, that's why.
All right, to wrap things up, Blackhat and DEFCON were all about AI. It just got harder for North Korean workers to get U.S. work. Interpol's iGrip system works, and rich people don't think about money. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. You can find us on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers who raised 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is search for the PEBCAK Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app. For our hosts Brian Deitch and Glenn Medina, I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next weekend. As always, have a nice day.
Bye, Felicia.
Toodles.